Hello everyone. Today we are going to be reviewing Sony's new movie titled GOAT that just came out yesterday. Now let's review this movie and see if it's another Sony hit. Now first I just want to say that Sony has truly come a long way. From making movies like the Emoji Movie, now it is just hit after hit every time. Whether it be the Spider-Verse films, Mitchell's vs. the Machines, or the recent K-pop Demon Hunters. So when GOAT was first announced I really was hoping for the best, knowing what this studio can now do. But I can't lie, looking at the trailer I just thought it looked okay. Nothing that special. I didn't think it looked bad, but for some reason I just wasn't hyped for this one. Which is crazy since this is the studio that made one of the biggest animated films of all time, but yet it just looked painfully average. And then I realized that the stuff that Sony was showing from the film looked so generic. Like everything was done before. The plot, the jokes were so generic, and even though the animation looked good, it was kind of a copy of Spider-Verse's animation. The trailer also made the animation look a little choppy. It just didn't feel different. It felt like it was copying a whole bunch of other movies. But I still tried to go in with an open mind, so let's go ahead and talk about the film. So here is the plot synopsis. Will Harris is a small goat with big dreams to play in the Rollerball League, but the problem is that this league is only made for the biggest and toughest of players, and that is the opposite of what Will is. However, when given the chance he will try to prove everyone wrong, that a little guy can play ball. Now starting off with the positives, I'm just gonna say it now. The animation is amazing. It looked off in the trailers, but when you see it in the big screen, it just looks amazing. I love the Spider-Verse style, even though like I said the animation is not the most original. The thing that really surprised me is the backgrounds of this world. I love how creative they look, especially with the watercolors. But yeah, the animation really makes the action and ball game sequences look stunning and stand out. One thing this movie definitely has going for it though is how the plot expands itself, and the heart. Now yes, this movie is another generic underdog movie, but there is a little bit more to it than that. The film has parts dedicated to what it's like to be a player in the league, the marketing, and how the media looks at you. Now don't get me wrong, everything with Will and his mom is great and really has a good emotional hook, but the further we get into the movie, the further the heart and story gets interesting. They introduce this character called Jet, and she has a story and arc about legacy, getting too old, people wanting you to quit the game. And honestly, in that part of the story I felt was really well done and heartfelt. The movie even showcases what a game can mean to people. It kind of brings people together for one big event, and yeah, I get why people really care about games. It was just cool to show a realistic depiction of sports fans, since I don't watch or play any sports. But yeah, it did have a lot more layers with the story and messages than I was expecting. I also really liked the characters. I found myself very invested and rooting for the main character. It was cool seeing him go from a little guy having nothing, from getting to live his dreams and game by game proving himself and connecting with his team who are very likable. Even the characters are very likable. There is Lenny, who is this chill giraffe guy who also wants a music career, and is voiced by Steph Curry himself. There is Olivia, who is intensely hooked on social media. The Rhino, who has 2 Rhino daughters who were hilarious. And Moto, who is just wild. You want the team to win and they are also equally funny. The character on the team who I like the most that I have mentioned before is Jet. I think she has a really good arc from going from being a spoiled player who is no longer at her prime and trying to recapture her prime years, while overshadowing the others, to actually warming up to the team and trying to make an impression to show there is more to her. She is just great, especially during the more emotional moments. This team is just a lot of fun and I really like these characters. On a related note, the voice acting in this movie is great and spot on. The standout for me was Caleb McLaughlin as Will Harris. He does a great job at making Will feel real, especially with the scenes in the beginning of the movie where he is struggling to make it. I also forgot to mention the main antagonist, Main Attraction, who is a pretty fun villain, and I really like his character design. The soundtrack is pretty good too, with some good hip-hop music. The movie does slow down for the emotional beats in the movie, and I think they are really well done. The relationship and character drama with Will and his mother is great. She is the one that convinced him that he was good enough, that he could do this, and that he could dream big. Will Harris's character arc is just believing in himself, which is simple enough. The movie definitely also got really good over time in my opinion. In the beginning it starts out okay, but the more it continues, the more it got better and better, mainly in the second half. But yeah, those are all the positives and things I liked about the movie. Now on to the negatives, the things I didn't like about the movie. One negative I have is that I feel like there are certain parts of the movie that they spend a lot of time on, and when we get to the climax with the big game, there are aspects that feel really rushed. This is kind of because they are doing so much storylines with the other characters that sometimes the main one with Will Harris feels like it's getting sidelined. So to me the finale felt rushed because of that. I will also say that the comedy was really hit or miss. I mean, the movie is funny sometimes and had a few good jokes I laughed at, but there are a lot of really bad jokes in here. Like there are some really unfunny toilet and fart humor in the movie. And sadly, since this film is about a goat, they actually added the screaming goat meme into the movie, which is just so annoying. Like, I can't believe we are still doing this in 2026. It's just outdated and unfunny. Another problem is that there was way too much product placement. Like, I'm fine with 2 or 3 in every movie, but there is way too much product placement for DoorDash and mainly the Mercedes car because that was super obnoxious. It was just weird and did not fit into this world of anthropomorphic animals and had nothing to do with anything. Also, the main plot kinda sucked. I like the side plots with everyone, but the story with Will is very generic. Now I'm fine with generic stories, it's just that they don't do anything with this. When Will joins the team, you can immediately tell where it's gonna go, and it just checks off all the boxes of the story beats it would have, and that was kind of disappointing. But yeah, that is all the negatives I really have with this movie. So to sum up my thoughts, I think this movie is pretty good. The animation is amazing, the side stories are very interesting, all of the characters are very likable, and the heart of the movie is great. The movie is not perfect though. The pacing could be better, the jokes sometimes are really annoying, and the amount of product placement is really obnoxious. So in general, I think I will give this movie a 7.5 out of 10. This movie is fun enough and I had a pretty good time with it. Don't get me wrong though, it's not as good as Spider-Verse or K-pop Demon Hunters, but I'd say it's good enough for what it is. But that's just my opinion, let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe for more movie reviews as I post videos every Saturday, and I'll see you guys next time, bye.